presidential election is quickly approaching and the competition between the candidates is fierce. The main contenders are Democrats Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders and Republican Donald Trump. Clinton is more qualified for presidency as she has served as a Secretary of State, Senator of New York, First Lady of the United States, and First Lady of Arkansas. Sanders has a few notable accomplishments as well, including serving as the mayor of Burlington, Vermont, and holding a seat in the House of Representatives. Let's not forget about Trump, a man with little political background but impressive business leadership abilities. Each area of the United States seems to gravitate towards one of the three contenders. In this presentation, we will explore which candidate represents the cities of Los Angeles and Cincinnati based on a variety of factors related to equality. When it comes to women's rights, Donald Trump is against abortion and has taken few steps to show his initiative to ensure women's equality in society. On several occasions, Trump has explained how Planned Parenthood must be defunded. More specifically, he stated that abortions must stop with exceptions to cases involving rape, incest, or health. Although currently pro-life, it should be noted that Donald Trump's stance on abortion has varied throughout the years. In July of 2000, Trump was openly pro-choice, but in February 2011, he claimed to be pro-life. On another note, Cincinnati's popular vote in the past two elections was for current President Barack Obama, who supported women's equality. Trump's opinion on the subject in comparison to that of Obama is demonstrated in the following video.
You dropped to your knees.
Yes.
And begged to do this.
It's a pretty picture you dropped into your
John
knees.
and Dennis thought I should be. Omarosa said me.
The idea that my daughters wouldn't have the same opportunities as somebody's sons? Well, that's unacceptable. That's not acceptable.
I mean, we could say politically correct that the look doesn't matter, but the look obviously matters. Like you wouldn't have your job if you weren't beautiful.
We all have to be louder than the voices that are telling our girls they're not good enough, that they've got to look a certain way, or they've got to act a certain way.
You know who's one of the great beauties of the world, according to everybody? And I helped create her?
Who?
Ivanka. My daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
Yeah, she's hot.
I've got a vested interest in making sure that our daughters have the same opportunities as boys do.
A person who's flat-chested is very hard to be a 10, okay?
Yeah, I was raised by a single mom. And know what it was like for her to raise two kids and go to work at the same time and try to piece things together without a lot of support.
They said, how are you going to change the pageant? And I said, I'm going to get the bathing suits to be smaller and the heels to be higher.
Playing like a girl means you're a badass.
Ever been with a black woman?
Had to.
Yes.
When women of color aren't given the opportunity to live up to their God-given potential, we all lose out on their talents. We're not as good a country as we can be.
And you're going to have more kids?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
I believe. Yeah, sure. I will.
What do you need that headache for?
Because I like kids. I mean, I won't do anything to take care of them. I'll supply the funds and she'll take care of the kids, right?
We have to do better because women deserve better. And by the way, when women do well, everybody does well.
In terms of the LGBT community, Trump's stance is simple. He does not approve of their ideologies nor their fight for equal rights. When asked if he supported the legalization of same-sex marriage, he responded, "No, marriage should be defined as between a man and woman."
Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders have very different views from those of Donald Trump. In fact, they are each pro-choice on the topic of abortion. Clinton has been known to defend women's health and reproductive rights, and Sanders sums up his stance on the issue by stating, when it comes to the rights of women, we cannot go backwards, we have got to go forwards. In other words, each candidate believes that the decision to have an abortion is not for the government to make. In terms of women's rights, Clinton is a major advocate for women equality, because she wanted to become an advocate for both women, family, and children. She has worked to confront violence against women, promote equal rights around the globe, and make childcare a reality for families. Likewise, Sanders fights for pay equity for women, the expansion and protection of women's rights, and the increased availability of quality childcare.
Clinton and Sanders also maintain similar views on the LGBT community. Clinton plans to ensure full federal equality for all LGBT Americans and secure affordable treatment for citizens with HIV and AIDS. On June 13, 2015, she stated, "We should ban discrimination against LGBT Americans and their families so they can live, learn, marry, and work just like everybody else. On the other hand, Sanders plans to sign laws that prohibit discrimination against LGBT people. He even intends to advance police department policies to make sure that there will be fair interactions with transgender people and policemen in the future. It's important to understand that the major difference between Clinton and Sanders is that Sanders has always been an advocate for LGBT rights, while Clinton had differing views on the issue in the beginning.
Based on this information, it is clear that Bernie Sanders will win the popular vote from Cincinnati. Not only is the majority of the city Democratic, but most of the views of Sanders match the views of the citizens. Cincinnati has the nation's largest LGBT civil rights organization and continually advocates for women's rights and equality. Overall, Sanders is definitely a big name in downtown Cincinnati. Because of the very liberal community and the large population of immigrants coming from Latin America, the best choice for Los Angeles is Bernie Sanders. We believe he is the best candidate fitting for LA because of his commitment to spreading peace and equality to all races and genders. Overall, the city of Los Angeles has a very liberal view in politics, thus leaning more towards the Democratic side of the two parties. Issues that are on the stand that mostly impact the decision from Los Angeles is the fact that Donald Trump has been very direct and threatening in his views of Latin American communities. His comments saying that specifically Mexicans are rapist criminals and that they bring anchor babies clearly wipes Donald Trump out of the election for the majority of downtown LA. The remaining possibilities for votes in DTLA lie in either Secretary Clinton or Senator Sanders. When it comes to women's choice, Planned Parenthood has consistently been mentioned by Hillary Clinton, therefore their company has funded her campaign. According to the organization, Clinton has introduced 8 pieces of legislation with the clear purpose of expanding and protecting women's access to reproductive health care. However, Planned Parenthood reaffirms Sanders' liability by stating that Sanders has consistently co-sponsored and voted for pro-women's health legislation, making both of them great possible candidates if elected into the primary. A reason why Bernie Sanders has better qualifications to become the elected candidate is that he has been consistent and reliable when it comes to LGBT rights and topics on racism. In 2013, Hillary Clinton finally stated that she supported the LGBT community. However, prior to that, she had opposed it for almost a decade. In January of the year 2000, she stated, "Marriage has got historic, religious, and moral content that goes back to the beginning of time, and I think a marriage is as a marriage has always been, between a man and a woman." In 2015, however, on the day of the Supreme Court hearing about same-sex marriage, Clinton changed her H logo to rainbow-colored and tweeted a message of support. "Every loving couple and family deserves to be recognized and treated equally under the law across our nation. #LoveMustWin, #LoveCan'tWait." Meanwhile, Bernie Sanders had a well-written history of his support towards the cause. He stated on Twitter in December of 2015, "I voted against the Defense of Marriage Act 20 years ago, and I am glad to see the U.S. making remarkable progress on LGBT rights since then. But there is still much work to be done. In many states, it is legal to fire someone for being gay or deny someone housing for being transgender. That is unacceptable. We must end discrimination in all forms." Not only that, but when the topic wasn't popular, he was still there to support the cause. By all measures, Sanders was ahead of his time in supporting gay rights. In 1983, as mayor of Burlington, he signed a Gay Pride Day proclamation calling it a civil rights issue. He was one of just 67 members in the House of Representatives to vote against the Defense of Marriage Act, a politically tough decision he prides himself on and points to as a key progressive bona fide. Sanders opposed Don't Ask, Don't Tell in 1993, another President Bill Clinton-era policy, and supported civil unions in Vermont in 2000. Overall, it can be concluded that Bernie is the most reliable candidate who does not discriminate against what people see as an unpopular issue. In late February, Hillary Clinton got confronted by a 23-year-old Black Lives Matter activist who demanded an apology by confronting Clinton with her own words, holding a poster that quoted her from 1996. "They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators," Clinton stated at the height of the anxiety during her husband's administration about high rates of crime and violence. "No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel." Meanwhile, we know Bernie Sanders has been very active in past civil rights movements in both simple and large situations. From trying to desegregate the University of Chicago to participating in the march led by Martin Luther King, it is clear his effort was always the same size as his passion. Senator Sanders has shown strength and honesty through his consistent speeches and actions. This gives him the immediate qualifications and strength needed in a leader. He will be a person of action who does what he believes is right even when the majority disagrees. In conclusion, the cities of Los Angeles and Cincinnati are extremely similar when it comes to politics. Both areas tend to vote for liberal candidates who support equal rights for all people. Trump doesn't stand a chance in either city, but Clinton does have some support from the citizens in LA and Cincinnati. At the end of the day, however, one thing remains clear: Sanders will win our cities by a landslide.